Hola y bienvenidos a World Series Game 4 alternative broadcast with the bringer of fucking rain, Josh Donaldson, former AL MVP for the Toronto Blue Jays. Josh, what's up, dude?
What's up? Let's get it. Game 4, baby.
How nasty was that slider right there, right on right, 87 mile per hour, tilt like this? Holy
Yeah,
shit, man.
yeah. It's gonna be a long night if that pitch is working. That's for these righties in the lineup. That's not a pitch that you want to see on.
Here's Bo Bichette now. He's wearing shorts. Was that a thing when you were still playing, huh?
Hey, I know you probably would have loved that. You loved a tight uni.
I did love the tight uni, dude. If you couldn't see my left ball, I wasn't wearing it tight enough.
I think you probably even got it hemmed up a little higher in the midsection, if you know what I'm saying.
Dude, what's crazy is that Hunter Pence did that because Hunter Pence is just kind of awkward and like felt like it was restricting his speed. And then after he did that, it's now become a thing where you got these big leaguers wearing jorts.
Yeah, I remember when I would go pants up, it did feel better a little bit above the knee than below. I don't know why. It was just kind of I didn't go pants up a lot because I was afraid I'd probably intimidate the pitchers with my calves and I probably wouldn't see a heater. But with that case being said, I try to wear them down. I liked it a little bit loose. I didn't like to feel that tightness around my legs, hence all of the tight calves I had throughout my career.
Josh, I got to ask you, man. Like, this guy is not real. I've never seen anything like it in my lifetime. Babe Ruth would have been the closest thing, but Shohei Ohtani on base 9 times last night, 4 for 4, two doubles, two homers. He is like nothing I've ever fucking seen. Your thoughts on Shohei and what he's been doing?
Yeah, I mean him at the plate right now. I mean he's obvious. He turned into God mode last night, which was unfortunate for the Jays. But that's a good sign for the Jays right now because I will say this about Shohei: I haven't watched every one of his games when he's on the mound, but it seems to me like his heater he doesn't throw in the strike zone a lot. I don't feel like any of his pitches are in the zone that often to where they could probably get to him if they stay patient in this game and wait him out. Make him start coming in the strike zone more than 50%, and I think they have a chance. But like to go off what you were like that pitch, it's a ball, but we get a
Yeah.
swing. It looks appetizing. It's hard. You're in game for the World Series. You want to make something happen, but you got to make him come to you. But going back to his performance last night, obviously I got to play with Aaron Judge, and I got to see that show quite often. And it's special what both of those guys do, and it's even more special right now. I think just because this guy can go on the bump as well.
Why are they so unfazed by the modern day pitching, the velocity, the breaking stuff, all of it?
Well, I think for me, they a it's like this with any. I feel like with all really good hitters, is pitchers know that they have such small margins to work with that they get intimidated. And so they do throw a lot more pitches that are hittable because they're trying way harder to get these guys out because they are that good. And so they have that working for them. And plus, they're big, strong human beings that have bat speed and they have a great idea of what they're doing at the plate. It's like what we talked about a couple weeks ago. They have great mechanics, and you mix that with great approach. Like you're an extremely dangerous hitter, and you make the pitchers throw you strikes over the plate. And when that happens, that's a recipe for their success.
I love what you said the last time you were on here as Barger hits a line drive the other way. Muncy's going to get it, but it's going to be a base hit. Barger reminds me a little bit of a left handed you.
Yeah, I actually got
right?
to talk. I actually got to talk to him before game two. He was in the cage, and he was taking some hacks off the machine in there. And I was like, "Hey, bro," I'm like, because I've been watching the games. And I was like, "Dude, you're a little." I'm like, if you could take that swing that you're taking in the cage right now, which is under control about 60, 70%. I'm like, that's what you got to take into the game, bro. I said, because you're naturally going to want to speed up once the game happens. Like, you got to make yourself get at that 60%. And I think he might have had a tough game too, but ever since then, he's been one of their better bats in the lineup. I mean, him and Kirk right now have just really lifted this Jays team up big time.
Controlled aggression, and you're right. Here's
Yes.
Alejandro Kirk. This is the other guy. What a very nice, consistent approach at the plate, although he pops that one up. Alejandro Kirk, Josh, I imagine you
Mm,
saw him when you were in Toronto.
yeah.
This fucking guy, man. Holy shit. Like, he's like a walking fire hydrant. And I can't believe what the kid from Tijuana has been able to do in his big league career. He's something special, too.
I mean, he just has a knack, and I remember hearing about this guy when he was in the minor leagues, and guys were telling stories about him. He was this very unassuming player, like literally would drag his bat up like a little leaguer, like dragging it up to the bat to get in the batter's box, get in there, and first pitch whack. Basically, the guy was an automatic hit machine, from what guys were telling me, and I was like, this can't be true. Well, sure enough, I started playing against him, and we're watching him right now. The emotion never changes with this guy. He hits a 3-run bomb and it's just like, he hits a game tying double, like the guy's unfazed. And I'll say this: having short arms as a hitter is a good thing,
Yep. Dude,
and
I can tell you as a
it's a
long arm
recipe.
motherfucker, dude. It makes it harder.
It does, though, and that's what makes really Shohei, Aaron Judge, Nelson Cruz, these guys that were big, John Carlos Stanton, these guys that have really long arms. It makes it even more impressive for these guys to be able to get to the inner part of the zone and then still be able to cover away. It's that's tough.
So what Shohei
Mm-hmm.
and Aaron Judge do so well
Mm-hmm.
is they've perfected the art of pulling this knob past the baseball and literally getting in this position to be able to get the barrel of the bat to that ball. That is something that if I were to go back and play baseball today, I would work on a lot more.
Yeah, and I think it starts even before that. I've since we've started doing some hitting stuff, and a lot people have been asking me and questioning. I went on Instagram, and I've my For You page or whatever. All this baseball stuff's coming up and on deck, and I started thinking about my own self, and I'm looking at stuff. Shohei, the one consistent thing that I see him a lot doing when he's prepping before swing is allowing the bat to fall behind the shoulder and then allowing it to get in front of him that way versus it just going straight push. It falls first. Like you watch Kirk, who has one of the flattest swings here. His swing path reminds me a lot of like a Pujols, that's so
Great call.
flat and throw through the zone the entire time that he has such a big margin to play with versus guys that get steep one way or the other, steep up, steep down. He has a long time to stay on plane with that pitch and be late on time or even out in front.
So let's watch Shohei Ohtani right now against Shane Bieber. I know you've had to face
Oh yeah,
Bieber a
oh
bunch
yeah.
in your career. What should Shohei expect?
I mean, it's gonna be some spin, and he's gonna. For me, Bieber's his best when he can locate the heater, the four seamer at the bottom of the zone, because then it starts opening up the swing and miss at the bottom of the zone. If that cutter to me is like more of a show me pitch right now to just try to kind of get the inside part of the plate. But it looks to me like he's not really, he's not messing around with him too much. He's not getting the challenge the strike zone on him because obviously of what we've seen from last night.
I've never seen a game like that. 4 for 4, two doubles, 2 homers. They're actually pitching to him because they intentionally walked him 5 times after that. A good pitch in the bottom of the zone. Shohei's like, I need a minute. I imagine that was low just based on his reaction. Yeah, but it wasn't even fucking close. It was just as bad as that high strike that got
Yeah,
Bo
that was
Bichette
terrible. That
picked
was
on. It was
terrible.
terrible, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's terrible. And that's when we talk about ABS, like we did a couple weeks ago, like that would have really fixed a lot of things so far that we've seen so far.
So at 90 mph, it looked like a changeup or two seam
That was
running
closer to being a
away.
strike than the other one.
Yeah, that was way more of a strike than the other one. So really, you should have rung him up. Now, this is Shohei. Let's remember this. He's pitching, he's coming off the mound, and
Straight
he's
little league
getting ready to
style.
hit.
Straight little league style. I mean, we've all done it at a time or two in our life, just not in the World Series.
He had cramps last night, and he cramped up at second base.
Oh,
It's
he
one of
did.
the issues that he's dealt with. Here's Mookie
See,
Betts, Josh.
that pitch right there that Bieber just threw, if he can do that, execute at the bottom of the zone for a strike, that's going to set him up for success today.
Mookie's been struggling. Is there anything that you've seen with him? It seems like he's got some complex actions, and when they're off, they're off, but when they're on, they sure are on.
Yeah, and so like even for myself, who had movement throughout my swing, when you get these big chunks of time with off days, it throws the timing of everything off. And I fought with that. To me, it's like when I'm doing this, like I want to try to start earlier and slower, and really just feel like I'm getting in more control. Maybe go up there, take one pitch, and really just I'm gonna go into auto take, but really just try to feel out my load. It's tough to do that when you're in Game 4 of the World Series, but sometimes you have to do that to get back on track.
Mookie takes that 94 mph two seam fastball down and away. It looks like it
Yeah, that's unhittable. Like
caught the
give that
zone.
to him all day. I mean, you can't swing at that. I mean, that's a double play written all over it.
It's exactly what that would have been. All right, the pitch from Bieber, who's sporting one hell of a mustache. Good block by the fire hydrant, the human fire hydrant. I mean, if you saw this
Ooh,
guy walking down the street in Scottsdale, Josh, would you ever think he played fucking Major League Baseball?
probably not. But that's the beauty about the game of baseball. Would you think Jose Altuve was a baseball player?
No.
Like baseball, you have all shapes and sizes that can play this game, and you can play it at a really high level due to what we've seen so far.
Well, that's just more of what we've seen with Mookie. There's Barger with the catch. So Barger, big play in the game last night,
The guy's
ended
got a
up,
cannon.
oh, fuck, man, 98 miles per hour from the outfield to hose the runner at home. What a wild game last night. I Did you stay up for this whole thing?
No,
And how much did you see of it?
I got to inning 13, and it was like I got a tea time in the morning. I can't.
No, I hear you, man. I mean, I stayed up just because my family was staying up. And I'm like,
Yeah,
dude, I
yeah,
can't bitch out if
yeah.
I got my daughter, my wife, my kid. I'm like, I need to be the leader of this bunch. And you want to know something funny? Bro, I had like 3/4 of a bottle of wine and I took an Advil PM at like 8:30, and the
Ooh,
game didn't end till what, past midnight.
yeah.
So I literally like was like getting up and pacing and walking up and down just to try to get that adrenaline and keep it open. But I never slept so fucking hard in my life, man. Right after that game, it's like
How do you
out.
think? How do you think those players slept last night? It was short. I guarantee you that.
Yeah. So here's Freddie Freeman, the hero from last night, Josh.
Yeah, Freddie. I honestly, the entire postseason, he hasn't looked like the normal Freddie that we know and love. Um, I mean, goes to show right there, rollover. To me, he looks a little out of whack right now. Whether it's something physically right now, or he's just not seeing the ball very well at the moment. But Freddie's been one of the best hitters in the game for so long. But right now, he just looks a little out of sequence, or like I said, something's bothering him.
So, if you're just joining No Filter Network for the first time, we have the chat firing. A couple of regulars, Linda, Mike, both in there. Crudelli, what's up, buddy? Yeah, man. This definitely will be an awesome show. So we have the knock button. You can hit the knock button at any point. We can bring you onto the show live. You also can fire away in the chat if you have questions for Josh. Go ahead and put those in the chat. If you guys want to come on screen, just come on. Make sure you have good internet reception and some sort of. You could do it straight from your iPhone, but if you sound like shit, we just boot you. Will
Ooh,
Smith, Josh. This
I
guy
really like
is.
this guy.
Yeah, me too, man. He's another guy that kind of reminds like a nice swing like you had.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously got the leg kick. He's you know, he's got a nice short compact approach for being, you know, a leg kick guy. But the guy does it. He catches his butt off. He's great behind the dish and really has a good idea of what he's trying to accomplish at the plate and has had a really great career up to this point.
So if I'm not mistaken, too, he caught all 18 innings last night, and he's
Mhm.
back behind the dish again tonight.
Thank God for Advil and Aleve and Tylenol, all those products.
I mean, you never know. I mean, all the whatever else they got floating around that clubhouse, huh?
Exactly. We're gonna keep it, you know, so the kids that are watching, you know.
Well, back in the day, I could tell you because my kids were asking me, they're like, "Aren't the players tired?" I'm like, "Yeah, they are." I said, "I don't know if it's postseason or what sort of help that they have getting on that field. But I did say that if this were 20 years ago,
Oh,
I can
get
promise
a
you,
little leaded coffee.
oh, they'd be loaded up on fucking greenies, baby. They would have gone back for the refills. 100%.
Yeah, I
100%.
know. Trust me, I've heard the stories. You know, of you know, a lot of the old war dogs. But you know, I will say this: I didn't get to play there a lot in my career, but Dodger Stadium is electric. That sound system that they got gets bumping. Their fans get into it, and as soon as you know, for me as a player, it didn't matter how tired you were. Once you got on that field and you felt that electricity, it was game on.
You're so right. I don't think I don't say people realize how electric Dodger Stadium is, but I would, look, went to New York. I played New York. I played in Boston. Played Chicago in the playoffs. Dodger Stadium, when it was fucking loaded and their
Mm-hmm.
fans were just
Yep.
boom, right?
Yep.
Like, and I was there. Remember when Manny in like 2008 ish
Oh my
went to
God, when he
LA?
went unconscious.
Incredible.
I'll never forget the curveball that he hit against Sean Marshall that was gonna bounce behind home plate and he hit it 440 feet in the left center field gap for a homer.
He was, in my day, the best. Like, obviously, A Rod, Edgar
I'm
Martinez.
taking Maney over A-Rod,
Fuck,
honestly.
man.
I
I mean, he
am.
was the best pure hitter, right? The
I
best
mean,
pure
it was
hitter maybe I've ever
unbelievable.
seen for the right side.
It was like I said this a long time ago when I did an interview for MLB. I used to watch a lot of Manny, and it was like this guy was sleeping at the plate. It was just like 450. I'm like, Jesus, dude, like this guy's on another level. Like I've never been that relaxed at the plate and been able to hit a ball 450 feet in my life.
Never. So I gotta ask you because you bring that up. Is there something to that? You mentioned Manny Ramirez. You mentioned
Yeah,
Alejandro Kirk.
yeah.
The ability to go up there, slow the heart rate
Oh, no
down,
doubt.
have this nice, relaxed, calm
Yes.
focus, and then just fucking bang. There's got to be something there, right?
Yeah, I always talked about it like this. It there's a soft focus and a hard focus. Hitting is not a hard like you can't be hard focused the whole time because you just can't for me I couldn't concentrate that much like that hard for like as I'm sitting here. It's a soft focus and then like as the pitch is coming, like to me being an athlete And the guys that perform at the highest of levels, they stay relaxed the longest. There's no tension. Like these guys are not tensing up. They're not trying to hit the baseball. I used to talk about this. This was a saying that I would talk to a lot of guys is I want to swing as if the ball's not even there. I
Yeah,
just want to feel like my bat is running into the ball. Because
I like that.
anytime I try to hit at the ball, that's when my top hand got too strong and I would just roll over balls.
Dude, so in pickleball now, I'll actually go warm up and say I'm warming up my serve,
Yeah,
and I get this wrist whip where I could hear the paddle,
yep, yep,
and
yep.
then as soon as I start swinging at the ball, I'm like, mm, mm.
Uh
And
huh.
I don't have that same whip. And so
Yep.
recently I've been working on trying to create the same whip and swing as if I'm not even hitting a ball.
Well, it's like this: 70% gets you 100%, right?
100% yes.
So it's like if I go 100%, I'm actually going to go into a deficit. It's going to be much lower than that.
Tense muscles or slow muscles?
Tense. Well, that's why what's the fastest punch? If we were boxing, what's the fastest punch that there is? It's a jab, bam, and you just snap a jab off. That's snap, snap. But if I tighten and I try to tighten this muscle from here, you're gonna be able to see that coming from a mile away. So it's always I like that's why I had a lot of movement in my arms where I get here because I wanted these to stay loose. Anytime I just sat there like this, I could just start feeling my hands gripping the bat tighter and firmer, and my arms start tightening up. And I just, for me, that was a non-efficient way to go about it.
Otani with another 1, 2, 3 inning. All right, Josh. Linda wants to know, she says, what is your favorite city? What was your favorite city to visit food wise?
Ooh,
I
food
like her
wise.
getting specific there.
I was never I was a baseball player that I didn't go out that often, right? And do a lot of foods per se, but I would say San Fran was always kind of sneaky. They had like, especially earlier in my career when San Fran was, really, really, you know, doing well.
Before the city
Um,
went to shit,
right. Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to go there, but before I went to where
I'll go
there's,
there. I'll take care of all that for you.
yeah, so it was more along the lines of like, I mean, the food industry. I felt like and then I went to when I played in New York. I love Italian food, and I found some great Italian spots there that we really enjoyed.
What was it like playing for the Yankees?
New York is a double edged sword. If I would have been there probably earlier in my career, I think it would have been great because I would have been performing at a high level. And at the end of my career, it was difficult because you have as a player, the game of baseball is very difficult to play. I mean, these guys, I mean, look who's on the mound today. I mean, you have a lot of guys that are very good. And then there's so much noise around New York constantly that you try to stay away from it as much as possible, right? But it's only human nature you're going to know a little bit about what's going on, and the fans are going to let you know how they're feeling too. So, uh, the organization was very first class for the most part, but as a player, I'll give you this: when you're not playing well in New York, the fans can be tough on you. When you're on the road, because you're a Yankee, everybody hates you.
So yeah, it's double hate, right? Because if
Yeah,
you're not
so it's
playing
kind of
well at
like
home, you're
you're
getting
kind of like,
booed.
what am I doing?
But
So
when you
I
do
mean, that
play
is.
well, they treat you like a
Oh
god.
my! I mean, Aaron Judge there. I mean, he's the absolute man, and he has the city by in the palm of his hands.
What piece of advice would you give to a guy like Anthony Volpe, who really is. He's had some success there, obviously, but he's also coming up in the shadows of Derek Jeter
Yep.
and had a really tough defensive year this year. Uh, it booed relentlessly. Uh, what would you tell somebody like Anthony
Well, I
Volpe in his
played with
situation?
Volpe, and I'll tell you what I did tell him. You know, my whole thing was Volpe is like, you're learning. Like he didn't get this time, this huge amount of time in the minor leagues to know himself as a player. So he's still figuring himself out as a player. I think when they got I want to say this right, McMahon, the guy from the
Yeah,
Rockies.
yeah, Ryan McMahon, sure.
I think when they got him, it probably cleaned up Volpe's right side, him going to his backhand a little bit. Um, but I mean, I've heard that he had shoulder surgery. My thing is this with his swing and hitting and stuff like that. I like, bro, you got to figure out a because I think, and Volpe would tell you this himself, is he has that tendency to lose the barrel underneath, right?
Yeah.
And he has to figure a way to get that a little bit flatter, and he has to really dive in an off season and really focus on how to get playing for the top pitch and work from the top to bottom because that is going to be a place where he's exposed at times. And I definitely think the guy has the potential to be very, very good. I'm hoping for him that he can go into this offseason, get healthy, and get back to developing. And he's still 22, 23 years old right now to where he still has this, he's still developing. He's not done. He's not a finished product right now that he needs this offseason to reboot and still experiment and tinker with things to kind of get the best out of himself.
All right, here's Tommy Edman. You talk about working top to bottom. We posted that clip
Hmm.
yesterday. So good. And that's probably right there, the top of the
Yep.
zone that Edman
Yep.
was attacking, and he's here. I got to be honest, bro. Like, the reactions that we've gotten, whether it's just in the comments or individuals reaching out,
Hmm.
wanting to know either to you or me about a lot of the hitting stuff that we talked about in the last Daily Hustle show that we did together, is fucking gold. And it's think about social media. There's a lot of bullshit
Yeah.
within it, and a look at me element and this or that. The reason why I think social media is fucking awesome is when we're able to provide something of value,
Hmm.
not just to the fan, but
Right.
I have kids reaching out to me
Right.
personally asking me
Right.
about shit you're talking about
Right.
and getting into conversations like, dude, that's special, man. I think there's been a lot of really good that's come out of that.
Well, and my whole thing, and I've said this from, and there you go, another good piece of hitting going back up the middle,
Great
working
piece.
from the top of the zone right there. And for me, it's about, I've always said this, like, you have to stimulate your mind to figure out yourself, and your everybody has their own DNA of swinging. How I hit isn't going to be how Shohei or Freddie Freeman or Vladimir Guerrero hits, but I had to understand what my natural tendencies and flaws were, and I had to do a lot of experimenting because I failed a lot throughout my career.
Yeah.
And so my whole thing was like, how can I understand the swing better and to be able to describe it in a multitude of different ways. And people need to think differently. It's and to open up their mind and not be scared to experiment, but also it's like I was talking to Jim Furyk on the range one day. We were playing in the Champions Tour. I thought he had a great piece of advice. And this could be also with hitting. He told me, he goes, Josh, he goes, I see that you're grinding, you're working because look, I'm a grinder. Like I love to work and I love to tinker and I love to do all those things. He goes, it's great that you're working. He goes, but if something's not working within 5 to 6 swings, You need to find something else that's going to work. You don't want to sit there and beat yourself down where you're going to continue to fall in worse habits.
Yep.
You got to try to think about it another way, approach it differently. And then if you find something that's worked, let's see if you can come back the next day and repeat it. And then eventually you're going to find something that is going to be consistent enough throughout the course of time to where shit starts to hit the fan. Now you've built a foundation to say, like, all right, I got to go back to this area to clean this up. Now, once this gets cleaned up, I'm going to be firing properly. It's like what I was talking about with Freddie earlier. He looks out of sequence to me. So as a hitter, when we're out of sequence, and guess what a pitcher's trying to do? They're trying to break your sequence. They're trying to get you off your timing. You have to
Hmm.
find a way as a hitter to where you can control timing when you're not in control, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Find your way how you're going to control timing. The only way to do that is by understanding how you need to move, what that sequence looks like. And it can be as simple as 1, 2, 3, and you know, uh, what's the guy's name? I'm going. He another golfer, Bobby Jones. Slow motion, working in slow motion will develop your brain and put it in more good patterns than taking 1,000 swings at full speed.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Remember that, like to sit there and I used to literally. Let me see if I can put this out some. I used to literally take swings. I'll put this up. I used to literally just sit there and get into my load and take and do this for hours. I would do that for
I
hours
love
because
that.
what when you start going that slow, now you can start feeling like what muscles are starting to go, or what which ones are kind of breaking, which ones are accelerating. You know where my shoulder plane is, where my elbows and hands are. Like I can take 1,000 swings and not have an idea where my hands or my shoulders, or elbows, whatever are, and not learn anything. But I can take 20 slow motion of contact swings and have a really good idea what I just did.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, dude. So great at bat right here by Enrique Kike Hernandez, my brother from another mother. I love this fucking guy. Look at that swing. Look how tight, compact, effortless. You talk about slowing the heartbeat down in the big moments. This guy's so much better in the postseason than he is in the regular season. Is there any explanation to that?
To me, I think I've never met Kike, but to me, he seems like the guy that's like whatever the job needs to do to win, that's what I'm doing. Like he knew right there, I needed a sac fly to the outfield at the worst. And so he was like that was the top of the zone, but he wasn't trying to like beat that in the ground. He was like, all right, I'm gonna cut the ball in half to where now and I'm gonna look for a pitch up because a pitch up is easier to elevate to the outfield than a pitch that's down at my knees.
Yep.
So that's what that looked like to me. And now he gets rewarded in this instance right now because guess what? One run in the postseason's like 2 or 3 in the regular season.
Ain't that the truth? There's Pages. He's been struggling. Looks like he took a pretty good swing right there. Kike Hernandez got pinch hit for last night. They put Rojas in
Mm-hmm.
to bunt, and I don't even remember if it worked out or not. But I know he got the bunt down. But I was thinking to myself in that situation, the lefty was on the mound. It's fucking Kike Hernandez. He's come up with so many big moments. I just think you get to those spots and you got your ride or dies. And for me, this
And
guy's
he's proven
proven
it,
it.
right? Like
He's proven it.
he's shown that he's a guy that steps up in those situations. Now, I didn't see like maybe it was just like a for sure like, hey, we got to get a bunt down.
There was a bunt. It was a bunt to get the runner from second to third. I
So
just have, I have a lot of
I'm
faith
not
in Kike hitting the ball the other way or hitting
I,
the base hit to end
I'm
it.
not going to go out on a limb and say, hey, he shouldn't give him the bunt because so many things could go. He could punch out, blah blah blah, whatever. But I am with you in the sense that Kike you have him in the lineup in your postseason because you know he does special things in the postseason.
Yeah,
So if you don't believe in him that he can get the job done, then he shouldn't be in your lineup.
yeah. No, I totally agree. We got let's see here, the East Bugby Company. Am I saying that right? All I know is he's drinking from the Daily Hustle Bug, so I fucking love that. Wes, what's up, Wes? How you doing? Are you saying your glasses are better, Josh?
Well, I when we did our podcast the other day, I was a little bit jelly, so I had to go throw I had to go throw some of my shades on that I found from way back.
Yeah, I don't know. It just kind of I come on here and especially in the morning, I get the sun coming in. The sun's about to go down, so I'll probably end up taking these bad boys off anyway. But it is a great plug for 100% glasses. I don't know if you ever dealt with 100%, but
Oh yeah, they sent me a mini pair.
they've always been great to me, and they got ski goggles and other shit. So it's
Yeah.
always nice to give them a little bit of love.
Well, they're swaggy, and so you got swag. I've had swag, so they will obviously want to give it to the guys that got some swag.
Of course. So I got to ask you, man. You went to Toronto. You threw
Hmm.
out the first pitch. What a special moment. Was that for? I'm trying to think. Was that for the ALCS? Right?
Yeah, it was game two of the ALCS. It was a cool experience. I've done it one time for Auburn, where I went to school at. This one was a little bit different. Obviously, you got a sellout crowd, and it's a place that is very special to me. Not saying that Auburn is too, but it's a little bit bigger stage, I'd say. And it was nice to feel the love again, and it was nice to be back and be able to feel that electricity again that was in that stadium.
What was the atmosphere like?
I mean, I was going to say this earlier. I'm glad you asked this question. I really truly believe that both of these home fields that we're playing at in this World Series is the two most electric fan bases in the game. And I know that some people in New York are going to disagree with that or whatever, but I've played in all of them, and that's my opinion. So take it what it's worth.
Well, I think there's something too about the proximity of the fans at Dodger Stadium. The
Yeah,
fact that the stadium's what 50, 60, 70 years old, whatever it is at this point, and the outfield, and I've played left, right, and center at Dodger
hmm
Stadium. Holy shit, man. It feels like those fans are right on
on
fucking
top of
top
you.
of you.
Yeah,
Now,
I haven't been in the outfield, but to me, it's like they have the best sound system in the game.
yes, they've always had that. The speakers in center field.
It's the best, dude, and it's electric, and obviously the fans do a great job, but just the sheer fact, they're sitting there playing Tupac and stuff before the game, and it's California love. I mean, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah, that's the truth, man. Toronto's new setup. They obviously they redid the field. I believe it was last season was the first year of it. What did you make of that?
I mean, I gotta tell you, their clubhouse that they have there, this whole setup that they have, I had never seen anything even close to it as how good they did with that. I mean, it's unbelievable from the sleep rooms to the weight room to the clubhouse to the sound system inside to saunas to batting cages to the bull. I mean, they just did an amazing job, and you got to tip your cap to Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins and all the people that were involved in putting that together because they thought of everything and they did a great job with it.
So is Shapiro still there?
Yeah, I think he's still the president of the team. I'm like 99.9% sure.
So check this out, man. Oh, ball ripped down the line. We got Luke's who's leading off. So I was a free agent in it's probably like 2006, and Mark Shapiro called me up. Now I shit the bed in the second half of the season. Oh, working from the top of the zone, Luke's rips it to right to Oscar Hernandez. a nice play and throws the ball in. I'll get back to my story in a second, but I want to go back to what you said yesterday, and I just felt like it was so relevant that I went back and posted that clip because, in my opinion, if the Toronto Blue Jays were to have any success against the Dodgers' elite pitching,
Mhm.
it was going to take what you told me on the last Deuces Wild Daily Hustle that we did, which was the work, the top to bottom. And the runs they scored yesterday, it was exactly that. And then here again tonight, we're starting to see it.
Yeah, and so it's like it's just think about the hanging breaking ball that Kurt got for the 3-run homer. You know that starts at the top, so you're saying yes, and now it falls down into the zone to where now that pitch wants to get hit hard, right? But
Yeah.
if you're looking at a belt to down, you're not gonna recognize that pitch right away. And I felt like they've done a great job of owning that and then not expanding too much above that. So that's the tough play is knowing where that top is and then not going any higher than that.
All right, here's Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Josh. Fastball right down the middle. Bat slips out of his hand. You've been this dude, man. You've been the guy on that team
Hmm.
in moments like these. What's Vlad thinking at this point? Runner on first base, one out, top third.
I mean, what I hope that he's thinking is not doing too much. I'm hoping that he's trying to stay within himself right now and realizing that a barrel is dangerous right now. If he hits barrel right now, he has the potential to leave the yard.
Oh,
Not to do
fuck!
any more. Oh,
He got
and
it!
that's what happens. At the top of the zone, we hangy, we bangy.
Holy shit, man! This is going to go down as one of the most epic moments on No Filter Network. We have
Yep,
a former American League most valuable player who played for the Toronto Blue Jays on with
yep,
us on Deuce as well tonight and walking us through exactly that. Not trying to do too much.
yep.
Gets the hanging breaking ball at the top of the zone. See ya.
Hey, what can I say? I know what the formula for success is. I'm not saying I always did it, but that's the formula. And Vladdy, it just made me look really smart right there. And tip of the cap to him. The guy's been absolutely electric this postseason, and he continues to do that. And it's because he's not allowing this moment to get too big for him. And what I mean by the moment getting too big for him is him going up there and trying to carry the load and feel like he's got to go deep every time. He's going to do that naturally because he's that good.
Well, the thing that you said that's going to resonate with me when I'm telling people this story, probably starting with my 14-year-old after the show's over,
Hmm.
is not trying to do too much. Realizing, here was your terminology, that a barrel is dangerous in this
Yes.
situation.
Yes. Because you got the juices flowing right now. For me, and you were the same way. I was very hyper energetic. Like I was like a bull in a what did I say? A bull in a china house, just ready to just break everything. Right? That was my mentality. I had to learn to hone that. That's why I respect like a Kirk so much because he just never changes.
Yeah.
I was never that guy. I had to learn to develop to be that guy. And you can do that. You just have to know how to go about it. And like I said, we were talking about this in pickleball with your arm. 70% gets you 100%.
Yeah. And Barger is funny because you said, you told Barger, hey, man, like, calm it down a little bit and you're going to be good.
He just
Barger,
missed the changeup right there that floated away from him. But I don't mind that miss. I don't mind it. Ball got a little bit further out of the zone than what he wanted it to. Uh, but at the end of the day, that was a good pass. I didn't feel
he
like he
looked
was trying to leave.
he
It was a
looked
good
more in
pass.
control. He looked
Yeah.
more in control on that swing than he did the swing before. It looked like
Yes.
he made a conscious effort because he had a curveball inside and he and misses it or fouls it off. and then that one he's on, and that actually looked fluid. I totally agree with you.
And you know, for me, going back to the Vlad situation, and Shohei situation, when your stars are doing star shit, it allows everybody else to just go, okay, we're good. The boys are here to take care of business. Let's keep the line moving. You know what I'm saying? Let's get Vlad back up. How fast can we get Vlad back up there? That's the goal for the Dodgers. How fast can we get Shohei back up to the plate?
It was a guaranteed guy on base every single time last night. It's like
Yeah.
all you got to do is get Shohei up, and now
Turn
you're
the lineup.
hitting with a runner on base.
Mm-hmm.
It was fucking nuts. And like you said, because I've been for 90% of my career, I was that role player.
Right.
I was
Right.
that guy that was looking to Jason Giambi, Miguel Tejada, Eric Chavez, and thinking
Dudes,
to
guys that were
myself,
like dudes, like who was there to carry the lineup.
we needed them, man.
Yeah.
We needed them. They were our fucking everything. And then for a very short time in my career, a couple year period,
Yep.
I was that fucking dude.
Yep.
And I could feel the boys looking to me in a big moment, in a big spot. Now, the one thing was, and this was what was special about like that '07 Diamondbacks team that I played off that we went to the
Yeah.
National League Championship Series,
Yep.
is that our motto was anybody, anytime.
Yep.
And so we, all of us, collectively played that superstar role. But when you have a guy like fucking Shohei, when you have a guy like
Like Vlad.
Aaron Judge, when you have a guy like Vlad, those dudes are different, man.
Yep.
Right? And you need them to fucking post up the same way
Yep.
Bonds was.
Yep. Yep. And when those guys are taking care of business, it makes life easier for everyone else. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
I forget who they were talking about. I was hearing a story, and it was about like a guy that was a dude. Oh, it was about Mickey Mantle, and he was banged up going into the World Series. And the manager at the time, he was talking about the pin just flows easier when you're writing Mantle down in the lineup. Like, can you imagine that? It's like, oh man, like look, like how versus like, oh shit, do I play this guy? Like, I don't know.
It's yeah, you're right, man. It really does. All right, here's Shohei. Josh, it's 2-1 Toronto now. There's a change up. It looks like Bieber's somewhat going at him. He's had a few pitches to potentially hit. He did walk in his first plate appearance. He's 6 for 12 with the 3 homers. Um, what do you see in his swing?
What I see in Shohei though, he does such a great job of using the big part of the field. Now you look at that pitch right there, the 1-2 cutter slider thing right there. That's what you want Shohei to be doing. You want him to kind of be flying open. If you can get him flying open, then that can get him to start speeding up the barrel a little bit. But he doesn't do that too often. I would be careful like that right there, that the curveball down below the zone, that's where you got to live. That pitch can't hang. If that pitch starts hanging, that's where he's going to make his money. You got to get him chasing out of the zone because he really, and this is what all elite hitters have in common is everybody has holes where like that's a great pitch splitting down and away because he sped him up on the cutter before he was able to get away with that pitch. But as hitters, you can't cover it all. We all have a little spot that we can get beat in. His is
Bieber,
just smaller than most humans out there. Aaron Judge is just a little smaller than everybody else. Because no matter how good these guys are, they can be pitched to, but it's just a very small margin of error.
Bieber fucking owned him in that event. Like at no point did I feel like Shohei was gonna really do anything. Once I said, you know as well as I know. Once you see the takes, you're like, yeah, he's not there.
Or it's just one swing, like the one swing where he's going to expand in off the plate. To me, that's when it's like, as a pitcher, I'm like, okay, I got him.
Yeah, but dude, he took that ball last night that damn near hit him in the fucking shoulder, and he goes like that and hits it out. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
what are you
that's what I'm
supposed to
saying.
fucking throw him?
You can't, like, he can't get there. You can't live in there. You can't live in there because all good hitters, like my whole rule of thumb was this: you can beat me once, and I'll let you beat me, but
Yeah,
you're not beating me twice.
Freddie Freeman, that looks like a pretty decent swing. The other thing is when you're going really good,
That
right?
was
And
better.
it,
That was better.
yeah, when you're feeling it and you're going good like Shohei was last night. I mean, he had all the intentional walks, what, five
Yep.
intentional walks, and then the 4 for 4. But I will say that when you're hitting well, the number one thing you have to do is stay disciplined. Because as soon as
100%.
when you're hitting well, you think you can hit fucking everything, and you can't. You can hit strikes and hittable strikes, but you can't hit the bitch pitches. And when you start swinging at the bitch pitches, that's when it all starts to spiral.
Yeah, one of the best pieces of advice when I was a young hitter that one of my managers in the minor leagues gave me. He's now with the Oakland A's with Darren Bush. He
Okay.
don't. There you go, Freddie, getting to the opposite field. That's where. That's exactly what I was about to say. Is the swing is like a typewriter. Now, most young kids probably don't even know what a typewriter is, but a typewriter goes click 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 click. Then you got to push it back over. Click like you can't. It's not if you sit here and you go click click like everything's pull 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 pull. Now you get exposed. Here comes the slump. It's got to go click, work up the middle to oppo. Okay, now you're oppo. They're gonna come back in. Click, push it over. Now you pull, bang, 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 bang. Like you're always trying to get it back in line. I don't ever really. I never wanted to feel like I was pulling the ball too much, because as soon as I got too pull happy and I started swinging those bastard pitches that you're talking about and still trying to juice them, that's when I got that. Now that's when I'm exposing myself to being out.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense, dude. So I saw Shohei Ohtani. They showed a chart of him last night. And they were saying basically all of his hits in the postseason had been to the pull side.
Hmm.
And
Except the
then
one bomb that he hit Oppo.
correct. And they show him, and I think it was last night. It was maybe an opposite field double,
Yeah,
and it was like, oh, okay, now it's
you're
on.
in trouble. Now you're in
Now
trouble. Like
now
once
now
you,
you're really fucked, right?
well, because just think before this series, he was scuffling and he was spinning out, trying to pull everything, pull everything, pull. Now he backs it up, goes Oppo a couple of times, then he comes back in. Now he find because to me, it's much harder to back the ball up than it is to get it out in front. So you have
Okay,
to be able to trust to be able to get the ball, back the ball up enough, and still feel like you're not going to get beat.
all right. I guess it was a 3-0 pitch, so he was taking. But in my career, if it
How
wasn't
good
for
is Ernie Clement, by the way, defensively? I mean, this guy is a gamer. I mean, you put him at second, you put him at third. The guy is cool as a cucumber over there.
amazing, dude,
Did
and
you see that pick that he had last night from the throw from Vlad?
oh, it's sick.
I mean,
It
you're
was
talking about
it's great.
Vlad just
As soon as they in the broadcast, I think it was Joe Davis is like, "Oh, and what a play by Vlad!" I'm like, "Fuck Vlad, man!" Ernie
he just threw it. He
Clement
just spiked a
grabbing that shit,
missile.
making the tag.
Well, and you're talking about like on dewy like grass where it's skipping, and he just picked this thing like it was nothing. Just put a tag on like that right there. Like that's like he made that look way too easy.
But third basemen don't need to really make that pick too often.
No,
That's
I
a
mean
first
not.
baseman type of pick.
Yeah, I mean it was nasty. I mean I just wanted to give him his flowers because defensively the guy is he's nice over there. He's really nice.
He seems like a badass, somebody that will play any position. I believe he's from that upstate New York area, grew up playing hockey. His buddies
Hmm.
came to the game in their Buffalo Bills gear. I this that's fucking that's what this shit's about, man.
I met him when I was down in Toronto. He's a super nice guy. He's mellow, down to earth, but you could tell when he steps in the line, he's got a little dog in him. That's for sure.
How did those guys react to you when you saw them in the clubhouse the other
Everybody was
day?
great. It was great. I think I was more excited to see them than they were me, but because I was like, heck yeah, I get to be down with the boys. It's sick.
Yeah. Wes says, okay, you confuse the kids. What the fuck is a typewriter? Man, I remember mom writing papers on that shit. It's dude, typewriter. I mean, Josh, you're a little young for the typewriter. I'm the one that I actually did use the typewriter in school. Now, when I got to college, we I think that was when computers kind of first came out, and Al Gore, of course, Al Gore invented the internet, and so that was a thing. At 1995 UCLA.
Yeah, well,
Oh
I hear
shit.
you, but you got to still imagine, like us millennials, we had the uniqueness of kind of knowing a little bit about everything pre-internet and after internet. So I still remember my grandma. She had a rotary phone. The young kids don't even
Yeah.
they don't even know what those are.
You know what's funny because yeah, you're right. Like millennials, it was a good time for you guys to be alive because you got to see a little bit of the old school,
Yep.
and you got to be on the forefront of the revolution that the Gen Zers
Yeah, when I
were
like to say
creating for
this,
you.
I wasn't a my generation. We weren't allowed to come inside till it was dark.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
you're outside playing and don't come home until the sun goes down.
yeah. Well, that's what it was. Yeah, the street lights went on, and then
Yeah.
it was time for dinner. Yeah, it's funny how generation to generation,
Yeah.
whatever. Millennials got you guys got a bad rap for a while, and that was
And then Gen Z came
that was your
around.
parents' fault. Not yours specifically, but they started to look at all the shit that was actually going on with my generation, which what was it, Gen X, and they're like, dude, what the fuck have we allowed our kids to do? And so 10 years later, when they're dealing with you guys, they're like, all right, we're gonna make some adjustments here, and we're gonna be a little protective, and you know what, maybe they went too far with the participation trophy shit, but there's some good eggs that came out of the millennials.
I'm
Oh
interested to see
man,
this at bat by Kirk right here.
let's watch it.
Oh, Jesus. Come on.
Alejandro Kirk, they were just showing George Springer. That's a breaking ball right down the middle. Fuck, you don't see that often. Really?
I think he was a little frustrated from the 2-1 pitch that was called a strike, and it made him speed up a little bit too much.
Look at
And
pull his head, try to just
that's as
run.
a pitcher. That's why pitching inside is so important. Because if you don't own the inside part of the plate, they never feel threatened.
So they could stay on that pitch,
Yeah,
no problem.
yeah,
Right? I'm looking. My standard approach. I was look fastball middle away, and I adjust the breaking ball. But you're
yeah,
right. As soon as they start fucking burying me in here, I was in trouble.
yeah. I mean that it just starts speeding up the timing of things to where you feel like you got to be a little bit quicker, right? And like I said earlier, the best in the game stay relaxed the longest.
What do you got on this guy right here, Dalton Varsho?
I think he's made some nice changes, but I love him. I love him as a ball player. I think the guy is a definition of a ball player. There would be some things I'd like to probably tweak with the swing a little bit, but besides that, I think he's a good ball player.
Hey, so I noticed this last night, man. Roki Sasaki made that play up over his head, right?
Hmm.
And I'm like, holy shit. It looks like he's got a fucking 13-inch glove. And now I'm looking at Otani tonight. These Japanese players are smart. Might as well have a big ass fucking glove if you're a pitcher, right?
Yeah, I think a large part of why they do that because I used to love talking with pitchers just because I wanted to know where they were going and what they were thinking. A lot of guys use bigger gloves to not tip their pitches so they can kind
Okay.
of bury the wrist and hand so they don't have a lot exposed. Because a lot of guys that pick up tips of pitches, you can see like I remember on a couple of guys. I'm not going to name names, but I remember being able to like if they were in the stretch from here, like fastball, you couldn't see the wrist, and then like you would go change up or something else. Like now the wrist starts kind of peeking down below. So that would be like as a hitter, those would be like little tells that you would be looking for in their setup, and the bigger glove kind of keeps them away from exposing that.
I remember when I was in college at UCLA, Sean Green was
Oh,
coming up with the Blue Jays,
yeah,
and yeah, like, he was a dude,
yeah,
and he told me that
that was
Randy
dirty.
Johnson was tipping his fucking pitches, and so it wasn't like it was any use to me at the time. I was like a sophomore in college, but then I went and paid attention. Obviously, every time Randy Johnson would get hit, and I don't even remember what the tell was,
Yeah,
but I was so fascinated by that. And Sean, one of my favorite teammates that I ever had, I actually played with him with the Diamondbacks later on. But you know, he's also a blue. This is a Sean Green World Series. I mean, Sean Green
yeah,
held the Dodgers record for most home runs until Shohei broke it.
And Russell Martin World Series.
Ah, how's Russ doing, man?
He's doing great. We play golf a few times a week together. He's awesome. He's I love that guy.
Really good dude, man. I always enjoyed my time around him. There's a pitch, 96 is our guy, Ernie
Clement.
Clement. Yeah.
I mean, that's got cut right to it. Like it's hard to kind of see it when you're watching on the screen, but that ball is cutting and it's not coming down as much as what you would normally think that your eyes should tell it to.
Yeah.
That's why that pitch is so lethal. It's not because it's 96, it's because it's cutting and it's almost going like up shooting this way to where it's so hard to keep the barrel on plane with that pitch because you see it and you think it's going to drop more like this and it stays up and cuts to where that's where like for me the hardest thing the last few years of hitting was guys were getting the ball to move both ways. You'd have a sinker that would go down this way, you'd have the cut right that would go that way, then you have a four seamer that would take off up, and so they have it like what's called like induced vertical break now, to which kind of explains that, and to where these pitchers are really gaining advantage if they know how to do that because the biggest thing. So like when people they ask me all the time, like, dude, how do you hit 100 mile an hour fastball? What was that like? And I'm like, well, you don't see it. Your brain is picking up an image like when it starts to be released from his hand, and what it is because you've seen balls come in so long that your brain picks up, and essentially a guess at where the ball is going to end up.
Yeah.
And
You're
so
right.
now, like when you can't trust like that first snapshot of where the ball's coming out, your job as a hitter becomes really difficult.
So I have pictures of me hitting where I'm like this with my eyes closed.
Yeah, of course, of
Isn't that
course.
crazy?
No, I believe it 100%.
But you're right. Like you're just, it's a reactionary thing where you get in this groove, this timing, this click, 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 click on the typewriter.
Yep.
Like, boom, this is okay. I've been seeing it out of hand. This is where it's going to go. And so it makes a lot of sense where you would say that it got really difficult when it's coming here on this same plane and it is not only doing this way, but it's doing this that way. And that can really fuck with you.
Well, I mean, you want to talk about like a mental grind? You're sitting up there like, okay, where's it going? Where's the ball going? Like I remember Felix Hernandez. He got pissed off at me one time. I was facing him, and he owned me. He had some ownage on me at the time. And I went up there. I'm like, as I told you earlier, like I said, what Mookie needs to do. I went up there with a straight auto take, and I'm like, I'm not taking my eyes off of his release point because I'm having a difficult time picking up where the ball is coming out of. And so he throws me like a split. or I don't know if it was a sinker, but they were both, kind of similar pitches for him. And it almost like hits me like in my jersey, like on the inside, but I never moved. I didn't flinch. And I'm like, I just locked in. I just went here and I just kept my eyes at him the whole time. And he thought like I was staring him down, like I was like mad that he almost hit me. And he's like, "What, bro? What?" And I'm like,
Hmm.
"No, dude, it's not you. I'm trying to figure out where the ball's coming out of. I'm not sitting here trying to think that I'm like trying to be tough against you. I'm just trying to figure out where the damn ball's coming out of because I have no
Yeah.
idea right now."
So Felix Hernandez, Josh, I played with him.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually my last year. It was 2010. And so most pitchers, as you know, are very routine oriented, especially starting pitchers
Yeah,
where, right, they'll, you know, the night after they pitch, they'll go out. They might go out the next night. They might take it easy the next night after that, maybe go out another night after that. And then it's like, I don't know, a day before their start, whatever. And this is, I mean, when I say out, like everyone's variation of out is different. Some
that was
guys,
just he just chop sueyed him right there. That was disgusting. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, I love it. So anyway, so Felix, what was really interesting to me is that most of the nights he was pretty mellow. And the night before he pitched, he'd go out and get fucking bombed, dude. I couldn't believe it. And I think it was like opening day or maybe it was the second start of the year. I remember I think we were in Kansas. Was it Kansas City? I don't know. Anyway, but he comes up to me. I think it was Kansas City. He comes up to me. He's like, Mersey, you and me, we go out tonight. I go, bro, aren't you pitching tomorrow? He goes, oh, yeah. And that was his thing. And if you want an explanation for it, I can give it to you because it's the same fucking shit you and I were talking about. It made him relax.
Yeah.
And so he didn't go into his starts too tense or anything else. He liked to have a certain amount of cocktails and then get a certain amount of sleep and then show up at the ballpark and do his thing. And obviously, his
He
Hall of
was
Fame
electric.
career speaks for itself.
I mean, that you want to talk about places that were electric when King Felix would pitch in Seattle and they had the K court there.
Oh, yeah.
That place got rowdy.
All right. 2 outs, 3-1 pitch to Tommy Edman right here. Does he try to jump ship and tie the game?
He better not because he can leave the yard, but that's not what he does. I mean, he's a hitter first. He needs a his whole goal needs to be get to first base.
And he just did. Good job laying off that pitch, top of the zone, 87 mile per hour cutter.
Strike. That was a strike.
Oh, fuck yeah, it was a strike. You're
Hmm.
damn right. I can't believe how dog shit. Where are you on the automated strike zone thing?
I told
I
you
mean,
this last time. I'm all in on it. I think it would be great. I mean, and it just we look at replay that we have so much, and we've taken that to where calls that are close calls that can influence the game. I think the biggest thing that's being impacted by the game right now is the strike zone. And if you could take that controversy out of the strike zone, then I just think that it makes the field better or the field even for everybody.
and that's all we want.
That's
And we
it.
want it fair for both parties. Like the same. I just don't like that we're leaving this up to the subjective opinion of guys. Kike driven to right field. Is it enough? No. It's going to be an out. But we're leaving the subjective opinion of a, let's call it 30 to fucking 7-year-old guy behind a dish trying to call a ball coming in at damn near 100 miles per
Yeah.
hour. It's hard.
It's very difficult. I'm not saying what their job is easy by any stretch of the manner, but here's the deal. If I think there's too much money on the line for these games in the first place to be impacted by human error as much
Yeah.
as it is. With now that MLB's went on a full gambling website, there's a lot of money being determined by one way or another. Um, and guys' contracts. There's too much money from a contractual standpoint of in the strike zone. You know, a 1-1 pitch. You go look at stats like a 1-1 pitch that gets called a strike. That's a ball. Now you go 1-2 versus that being a 2-1 count. Like that whole at bat gets changed right there
You
from
want to
one
know what?
pitch.
Hey, you want to know what the number is? Because I did research on this. The delta is a 500-point difference in OPS. A
And so like
2-1
that's
pitch and a, in a,
huge.
in a 1-2 pitch.
It's
Huge.
huge.
Fucking
It's
huge.
huge. It's huge. And to sit here and say like we expect these guys to be perfect, as a player, I wanted them to be, but they're not. They're humans, right? And so why not, if we have the technology to do it, help the guys out? Because look, the game has evolved to a point to where, as I was saying, as a hitter, this shit's exploding through, and you guys, it's ducking, diving, and dodging all through the zone. You can't expect these guys to know. And the catchers have gotten so good with pulling the ball left, right, down, up, down that you they don't know what they're seeing. I guarantee you, a lot of times.
Why are we going to waste our time with the challenge system, though?
To me, I think if you wanted it to be a a somewhat perfect product, you just go ABS. But I see why they want to. I'll say this: why I am for the challenge. I'll give you like my little spiel. I like the challenge because it brings a little fan interaction in the game, and it rewards people that know the strike zone. That's why
Okay.
I'm for that. But if we're looking at the game as like, let's just keep the integrity of the game as high as a standard as possible, that you there's no challenge system. You just go ABS.
That's what fucking tennis did, dude. Tennis
Yeah.
was the one who had the real issue with this back in the day.
Yeah.
We fixed it. It was
Hmm.
very simple. The
Yeah.
ball's either in or it's out. And guess what? Players still have a way to get pissed off about shit and yell at an umpire and
Yeah.
everything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah, I don't know. I'm grateful for the challenge system. I just think uh, we're gonna have to get this right. Now, catchers are the only ones that should complain, right? The good
Yes.
catchers, the good frame ones, because they get paid on that shit.
Yeah. No doubt.
All right, here's Andres Jimenez. I don't know a ton about him. Josh, you got anything on him?
Yeah, he came up with Cleveland, and he had a couple really good years with them. And obviously, I think his thing is defensively. He's a more of a
Yeah, shortstop.
defensive player than offensive, but he can sneak up on you and clip you if you let him. But just a nice guy that I feel like um, he get in that situation right there. What I was about to say, he gets a little bit bigger than he should in his swing at times, which causes him to be a little bit more vulnerable. Um,
Hmm.
but at the same time, um, I would like to see him get a little bit more compact and have a little bit better approach at the plate.
You got anything on Prince Harry and Meghan Markle sitting right there?
I give zero
You
about.
could, yeah, you could say Fox. I'll say it for you.
Yeah, I don't care.
Um. All right. So here's the big question, though.
Hello.
Oh, Otani's at 60 something pitches right now. How long do they ride with him?
I mean, color me shocked because I feel like Dave Roberts has had a pretty long leash with his starters. I think you're going against like my whole framework of Dave Roberts is that he has one of the quickest triggers in the league. And I got to give him his flowers that he's let these guys ride a little bit longer. And I think if Otani doesn't give up more than one more run in the next inning, they're gonna ride with him as long as they can.
The depleted bullpen from last night, too.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Kershaw only threw, what to one batter, but for the most part, I mean, that bullpen on both sides is taxed. Like they ended up going, what is it, 9 scoreless innings before Freddie Freeman walked it off.
Yeah, and I mean, I think both sides they really need their starters to get some length in this game. because I don't think either team, for both of these teams being as high quality as they are, their bullpens are probably both of their weaknesses.
Have you ever noticed how small Otani's nose is?
No, I haven't. I haven't.
It just looks really little, man.
Is
Like
it
it's just like
is
a
it
little bitty guy.
small, or is it he's just so big that he has a normal sized nose and it just looks smaller? I don't know.
He could have a normal sized nose that looks small on his big face. Uh, there's where would you rank him when it comes to superstars across all sports? Like I'll give I don't know Michael Jordan. Uh, I'd say like back in my day I would have said like Joe Montana, but I was Tom Brady. Uh,
I don't think anybody will ever surpass Jordan. That's my
no,
first thing.
no, yeah,
But I think Shohei's the biggest thing that baseball's had since Bonds. I'll say that for sure because he is from Japan, and you open up. I saw something, and this will kind of give you a little bit of insight of that, and why I think that he's the biggest baseball player to probably ever play the game. Is I read something, I don't know if it's necessarily true or not, that they paid Shohei 700 million. Wow, he just went right down the middle to Vlad.
right down
Huh.
the middle, dude. 99 right down the middle.
He said, "Okay, buddy, here you go." They paid him 700 million for that contract, and apparently after year one, he's already made them more than seven
Yeah.
hundred million.
So for example, like Bonds wasn't that right? Like I
Yeah, I
the
don't
only
think he
guy
was
that
as
was
big as a superstar, but I think like as far as baseball people are concerned, people would put Bonds up there.
well, baseball ability and like hitting ability, I
Yeah,
put Bonds
yeah,
above him still.
yeah. Me
Um,
too.
but when it comes to that international
Superstardom.
superstar sort of thing,
Yeah.
I all right. Here's Vlad. He went breaking ball. Good hitters get jammed. That's he got too much of it. Have you ever wished you got jammed more right? You know what I'm talking about? You get jammed and it floats to the center field. You're like, dude, if I just got fucking sawed off just a little bit more, that thing would have fell.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, it was like the wood was too good. You know, the wood was too hard. So
Yeah, you're
you need a
right.
little bit softer wood to be able to flare it in there. I always used to get so pissed when guys would get these flare hits all the time because I never felt like I got a lot of cheap ones. I never felt like I would watch guys snap bats and they'd fall in. I never really broke a lot of bats. I went through a lot of
Huh.
bats, but I never really broke a lot of bats. And I was sometimes a little jealous that guys could get some of these duck snorts that would fall in there.
Yeah, law of averages though. I just feel like the guys who get the shit hits, it's not by accident. And honestly, like one of the guys that gets a lot of these shit quote unquote shit hits is Luis Ariz because he has the exit velocities at damn near the bottom in the league, yet he leads the league in average. Like this guy's taking a good bat path and he's using all parts of the bat and he's fucking getting knocks. That's how he does it. It's in the formula.
I played with Arias. We were teammates with the Twins together, and another short arm hitter, very short arms, to where it was always he was always into the body. He's always into the body right here, and it's those short little T Rex arms, bro. They play for hitting.
Oh, damn right. Remember Rubio Durazo?
I don't remember that name.
Oh, bro. Rubio Durazo had the fucking T Rex of all T Rex arms. This guy fucking bang, man. He was legit. He came up and he had a nice big league career, whatever. In the minor leagues, like you can't make up this dude's numbers. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna try to look up Rubio Durazo's minor league numbers. Like he was, it was like nothing I'd ever seen. So, um, hey, so when it comes to urgency for the Blue Jays tonight, is this quote unquote a must-win game?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I think, like, for me, I said this before the series happened. If the Blue Jays, out of the first 4 games, if they could keep the series at 2-2, I think they win this series. Obviously, I'm not going out on a limb saying if they go down 3-1, it's probably going to go the other way. If they can get it to 2-2, that was my prediction. If they can get it to 2-2 after 4 games, they got a chance.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing too, though, is just get it back to Toronto,
Yeah.
right? Like, it. I'd call this a must-win, but I'd back off just to say that the reason why this would be that must-win is if the Dodgers smell the fucking blood in the water, they're going for it tomorrow night, right? They
I
would
don't
do
even think
everything.
like tomorrow night. I think, yeah, they go for it or whatnot. They got Snell, but I think the Blue Jays line up well for Snell. The guy that, for me, that ends the series is Yamamoto. The guy's been like, you want to talk about how good Shohei's been on the offensive side. Yamamoto has been equally as impressive on the pitching side.
On that note, what the fuck was he doing in the bullpen last night? He was gonna come into the game, dude.
Well, it's like Pedro Martinez, when he was like, "Hey, dude, like, get me in the game," when they were playing the Yankees. So I mean, I get it, but do I think it's the best for him? Probably not. Like, from a health standpoint.
Aren't you trying to protect him against him? He just he was a game 2 starter, and he was in the fucking bullpen for game 3. Once you'd at least go back to Snell before you go to him.
I think that I don't. Who knows how serious they were about bringing him in? I don't know.
Maybe he was just thrown aside.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes they will do that to, like, say, like, "Hey, like, you're supposed to throw this day. Like, we're gonna get you up and let you throw your 20 pitches during the game, just in case that you do have to go in. We'll give you 10 pitches, but you're not going any more than that, or how many ever pitches."
Yeah, I got you. All
But
right,
I definitely don't think that if they brought him in, that would have been in the Blue Jays' favor for the rest of the series if they brought him in that game last night.
it would have been right.
Yes,
Yeah, I was thinking the
because
same thing.
then does he pitch game 6? Like, I don't know if he's able to pitch game 6 if he comes in last night.
Or if he does, he's just not the same. All right, here's Otani. It looks like he fouled the ball off of his leg. Let's go through this at bat. That's kind of weird. He fouled it and it hit his back leg. Ouch. I don't think I ever did that.
A little shin burner. I played with a guy one time that it was right on right, and he was facing a sinker guy, and he fouled a ball like 100 miles an hour off his back right kneecap and fractured his kneecap.
Seriously?
Yeah, it was pretty nasty. It sounded like a shotgun went off.
All right, here's the pitch to Otani, up and in, 92 miles per hour. I saw Jermaine
That's what you got to
Dye
do.
hit a ball. I mean, there's the up and in pitch I was talking about earlier. Like, I
Yep.
just couldn't believe it. Like, at that point, you're like, I'm fucking done. If he's hitting that, I'm fucking done. I mean, there's his 8 home runs. Look at all of them. They're all middle in. Fuck
Yep.
that. I'm going right here on this guy. Let me see you
Splitty,
hit that, right?
splitty down and away, heater down and away. Nothing coming into the inner part of the zone. I mean, he's obviously showing you where he wants to do his damage.
11 of his 15 hits have come for extra bases. 8 of those hits being home runs. He's got
Here's
kind
the
of
here here's you want to know what I'm the most impressed about Shohei is that this guy is fast.
yeah,
Like he is if he he's probably a top 10 sprint speed guy in the big leagues.
yep. Here's this pitch right here, Josh. They rung him up.
Yep. Away from him, right?
Yeah,
Away from him.
it
Keep it
looked like a
away.
ball. I trust him in his zone.
The K zone, I think, had it a strike.
Well, I trust the K zone more than I trust my own eyes.
Look, if you're a pitcher, you want that pitch. As a hitter, you don't want that pitch called.
Mookie Betts, this kind of shit. He's frustrated, man.
Well, to me, what I was gonna say when you were asking me earlier, it looks to me like he's like the bat's not getting. He's not getting through the baseball. It's like he's hitting to it, and the bat is sliding off of the ball. So to me, when that's normally happening, either you're going under the plane and then coming up over the plane to where you're glancing, or you're above the plane and you're going too far down across the plane.
Dude, that
So
makes a lot of sense. You're right. It's like it's coming off the bat, but it's kind of like sliding off the
it's
bat.
sliding off the bat versus like you compressing the ball.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Josh, so check this out, man. Like here at No Filter Network, the one thing that we do that's very unique is that we have the ability to interact with fans.
Love it.
And we bring these guys on, and sometimes you never know what you're going to get. But as the process of this has happened, we've come across all sorts of characters, including one from the North Pole. His name, Santa Claus.
What's up,
Santa, welcome to the
Santa?
fucking show.
I
Oh,
love it.
fuck you, Bernsey.
What's up, motherfucker?
Dude, just watching the game, fucking watching you guys talk shit, enjoying it.
Hell
That's
yeah.
how we roll, dude. What's your take on the series so far, Battleborn Mike?
Don't throw strikes to show. Don't pitch to Shohei Otani. Don't just don't do it. Not
Yeah,
right now.
but they just fucking did, and they got his ass out.
Well, that's good. The Blue Jays, they have a chance. There's no doubt about it. They got to win this game.
Yeah.
They
Yeah, I
have
agree.
to win this game. They're scrappy. They're well coached. I mean, there's a chance. Last night's game, there was some mistakes made, maybe a little too aggressive. Maybe not. I like it. Go for it. Fuck it. Ball's in. Let's go.
Hey,
Um,
Josh, I got a question for you. What do you got on John Schneider?
I mean, he seems like a good dude. I did a couple rehab games with him, and there wasn't like a lot of like I'd say a lot of conversations, but he seems like a good dude. It seems like the players respect him and what he does. And I mean, when I watch the games, I still think it's like obviously it's a lot easier sitting here and making decisions, but there are decisions as far as managing the bullpen, the staff that I'm like, I kind of get a little head tilt at sometimes. I'm like, what are we doing here? This doesn't seem like the matchup that I'd be wanting to make right now. But besides that, at the end of the day, the players are the ones dictating the games. And so the manager can only do so much, and he can try to put his guys to succeed so much. But at the end of the day, the guys that are winning and losing the game for the most part are going to be the players.
I agree with that. They've actually tried to like figure out a formula of how many wins a manager could be worth, and it's been anywhere that they've said, at least from managerial decisions that they make within a game, it could be anywhere between like 2 and 5 games that they could affect, right? Like
Mhm.
war on a player.
Sure,
But
sure.
it's between zero or -5 to +5, whatever. Um, I don't know, man. I just think more than anything, what a manager could do is you create a culture
Yes.
in a work environment that is positive, upbeat, uh, right? It enriches an entire fucking organization. That I think more than anything, more than X's and O's and decisions they make, is everything.
Yeah, I mean, you got to know the heartbeat of your team, right? And you got to be in control of that. Like for me, I think with new age and some stuff like that, I think a lot of these younger guys that are coming in, I think they're a little too soft on guys to where it's like there's some times where like, hey, like you gotta, one of my favorite scenes in the movies is what's the Kevin Costner Bull Durham when the minor league team they're scuffling and he's like, hey, like I don't know what to do with these guys. We're getting our ass kicked every day. He's like, you got to go scare them a little bit, you know,
Love that.
like go in there and sometimes you got to light a fire in their ass a little bit and some of it is like, hey, like I believe in you. This team's good enough, but we're not playing up to the level right now that is needed. And we need to raise the bar, or guess what? There's some guys down here in the little leagues that are ready to graduate to the big leagues and they're hungry.
Yeah.
Like, so it's time. And in Toronto, they quote me on this all the time. And I actually stole this quote from Johnny Gomes is I said in one of our, this was in 2015, I got asked in an interview after the game. We were like 500 at the time and we were playing okay, but from an offensive standpoint, we probably should have been better than what we were. And they're like, so what do you think about this? I'm like, look, here's the deal. This isn't the try league. This isn't, hey, let's go try and get it done. No, this is the get it done league because guess what? There's not a league higher than this. And they're going to go find guys at some point that are going to come in and get the job done.
Right.
And so that's what this game is. And sometimes, you got to, as a manager, you got to make that a reality for some of these guys because I don't care wherever it is. Like guys get comfortable and they get complacent and they don't, they're not out there in my opinion, when you get in the dog days of summer at times, they're not always putting their best effort forward. And I'm saying like I was a part of that at times too. Like there was times where I needed to get my ass chewed out to say like, hey, let's go. You're a guy on this team. Act like it.
Yeah. Alejandro Kirk in an at bat right now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He went 2-0 curveball. He went 2-1 fastball. So now we're 2-2. What should Kirk expect?
I think he's going with the slider.
Oh, he
Honestly,
got
I
up on
don't.
the slider.
I think he's going slider. That's what he wants. That's his put out pitch. There it
He
is.
got. He's done.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to wait around for that slider. Like 2-0. Like I'd probably, if I could recognize it, I would have taken a pass at that curveball. And then 2-1, you had a chance at the fastball. That slider's a fucking wipeout, man.
Yeah, it is. And so here's the deal, like, when you have Will the Thrill on here talking and stuff like that, and you have, guys that played the game and, before in this generation and even my generation, and even the beginning of my generation, it's like 2-0 used to be a heater count.
Yeah,
Two
it did.
one used to be a heater count. 3-1 used to be a heater count. 3-2 used to be a majority heater count. To where now these guys that are on the mound that have these big heaters, Shohei 99 miles an hour, he didn't want to come at him 2-0 with a heater because he knew he could get the free strike with the breaking ball, right? So
Yeah,
like how I used to build my approach was I never like to say like because you have some guys like never come off the heater, never come off the heater. Well, guess what? Like Shohei does like I've seen him throw maybe 2 or 3 heaters down the middle of the plate tonight. What's the majority of the pitches that he's thrown over the big part of the plate? This,
breaking balls.
this. So as a hitter, I was always building my approach off what pitch is he gonna feel like he can throw for a strike that he can throw over the big part of the plate that I could touch. I'm not going to try to hit the 96 that's cutting right and away just because it's a 2-0 count. I'm going to look for the curveball because he's going to feel like he can throw that over the plate for a strike, and I'm not going to swing.
Yeah. And he'll try to steal that pitch, strike 1-2. The pitch I don't want to hit if I'm a right-handed hitter, especially, is the slider. So I'm going to work
Not
off of
his.
the
He's got a
fastball.
he's got a turbo slider. That thing's taking a left turn. Like it's
But
nasty.
I want to know how many times he throws that slider for a strike.
And that's what I said at the beginning of this case is like you got
Great.
to get Shohei in the strike zone because he's not gonna. I guarantee you, if we went and looked at this, if you went and mapped out all of his pitches right now, he's not over 55% of pitches in the strike zone right now. He's gotten more than probably 55% strikes because they've
Yeah.
expanded at times out of the strike zone.
Yeah. Battleboard Mike. So when you're on
Yo,
here, what Do you have any questions for Mr. Donaldson?
What was your favorite moment as a big leaguer?
Ooh.
Man, I had a lot. Probably my first, like my, it was probably my real, my biggest. I was in 2012 in the with the A's, and I'd been sent down 2 or 3 times, and I was like grinding on my swing and really putting in a lot of work on approach, swing mechanics, all this stuff. And I remember there was a reliever from Seattle that earlier in the year I'd faced him, and he diced me up, right? Well, in 2012, the cool thing about 2012 is that the All Star break, we were like 12 and a half games back from first place at the break. And I wasn't even with the team at the time. And I got called up the last month of the season, and we were hot as a firecracker. We ended up winning the game on the winning the division on the last game of the year. We swept Texas to win the division. And the series before that against Seattle, I faced that same reliever that made me look like a little leaguer, right? It just diced me up. And I ended up taking him bridge to dead center to tie the game. And that was like one of my first moments as a big leaguer where I was like, I belong here. You know,
Yeah.
I can dominate this level like I have other levels. I'm like, that was like, I'm here to stay kind of type of moment.
That's
Uh,
awesome, man. That
I
is
love that.
awesome.
Hey, tough play right there for Vladdy, Josh. I don't know. You get a glove on it, you got to make the play. That's my thought.
Yeah, yeah, and especially that surf. That's the best surface in the big leagues right there in LA. I think he hindsight 2020, I think he probably could have moved his feet a little bit better right there. But with the ball hooking like that, he's trying to create some space between his body and the glove, and I think he that's gonna get down to come on. There you go.
No, no.
Nice.
Dalton Varsho making a really nice play in center field. I mean,
The guy's a
between
ball
Var
player, like I said. That guy's a ball player.
between Varsho
Former
and
catcher too, by the way.
well, no
Yes.
shit, man. Look at him
Yep.
and Alejandro Kirk. They're
Yeah.
fucking like Varsho's like a little bit more of a stretched out version of Kirk.
Hey, Bernsey, I watched Varsho play for the Reno
Diamondbacks.
Aces coming into the Diamondbacks. That dude's no joke. He's a fucking ball player.
He is a ball
Yeah,
player.
yeah.
He, he's
His dad played
legitimate.
his dad played in the big leagues too. So
Yep.
you gotta like that. I mean, I you know when you come from there's a reason why you're starting to see more and more kids of big leaguers show up. There's a comfort level, but there's a know-how. They've been
Yeah.
taught the game the right fucking way.
Yep.
It's I think you're going to continue to see more.
Well, it's like I see it like I remember the first day I showed up to a professional after I got drafted with the Cubs. The first day I showed up, I'm like, I had no idea what to expect.
Yeah, no
You know what I
idea.
mean? I had
Yeah,
no
I
idea,
was
and
the
I'm
same
like,
way.
I felt like I was thrown to the wolves, and I'm like, what do I do? Like I literally sat in front of my locker for an hour and a half with my thumb up my butt because nobody was talking to me. No, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here, and to have like the wherewithal to know what to kind of expect when you get there, like is in my opinion is a huge benefit.
Huge. Huge.
Huge.
It's just know how to train, know how to what drills to go through. That's gonna be it for Bieber. Teoscar Hernandez. Uh,
I mean, Bieber did a great job. I mean, honestly, after his first start to that one, I mean, he really like that was an impressive start to go through that lineup as well as he did tonight.
well, he's doing it with subpar shit in today's game.
Yeah, I
Correct?
mean, I felt like his stuff was better this game. I mean, he had way more control of the heater this game than he did last game. But I mean, this isn't, and I'm not talking down to Beaver by any chance of the matter, but this isn't the Cy Young stuff Beaver
No.
that we grew accustomed to.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like he's getting outs. Like tip of the cap to the guy. He went and he pitched his heart out tonight.
Max Scherzer. Did you get a chance to talk to him when you were in Toronto?
I talked to him a little bit. When I went to the weight room, he was in there. We chatted a little bit, and it was mostly about the first pitch. He was trying to give me his mechanics to throw the first pitch again. I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna give it a little bit of that head bob, like getting through there, like how he does."
I love Max, man. I played with him in Arizona, and then just a few years ago, I guess it was right about COVID. It was like 2020, 2021. It's in 2019 too, when he would come to New York. I'm trying to think. I know he's with the Nats in
Yeah,
that World Series year. And I was with MLB Network, and we'd hang out, go
yeah,
grab a meal, couple cocktails. Good dude, man.
yeah. He seems like
He's
a
a
good
fucking
dude.
real one.
Yeah.
Obsessed with his craft.
Oh yeah. I mean, you could tell. I mean, most people that are elite, like Max Scherzer, are obsessed with what they do.
Yeah,
Like, and that's like, you know, I don't really think that a lot of other people understand is like the amount of outlet. I tell people that have kids and they ask me like, "Oh, hey, what do you think my son needs to do this and that?" The first question I ask them, I'm like, "Are you making them practice, or do they want to practice? Are they bugging you to practice?" Because if your kid is like waiting for you to let's go practice, then you need to do something else. Like, but if that kid is pestering you, like, "Hey, let's go to the park, let's go practice, let's go do this," if they're doing stuff on their own, if they're trying, if they're working, like that to me is like that's when you got something.
absolutely. They have to have that drive within themselves. Like, ooh, Max Muncy, lefty on lefty. Here's Varshu. That'll be the second out of the inning. You're right, though, Josh. Like, the drive's got to be within them. And I always say the first 12 years, you have a little bit of an influence.
Yeah,
When those little fuckers turn 13, it's up to them.
yeah,
Now it's up. Now you got to make that choice, bro. I can't do it for you.
nope,
You have like, and not even bro, but like with kids in general, all of my kids. I have two daughters, a son. Like, that 13 age, with it's the ski racing, it's the horses, it's the baseball. It's up to you guys. What you put in is what you're going to get out, though. And I leave them with that.
yeah. I mean, it's true. I mean, it's y- and even more so, there's so much information for kids to be able to go out there and really dive into it. And you have technology to where you have a cell phone to where you can video yourself doing stuff to where I never saw the first time I saw my swing was in the big leagues. Like
Wow.
now, and when I first saw my swing, like I used to tell people like, yeah, I swing like King Griffey Jr. And I went and saw my swing the very first time. I was like, yeah, no wonder why I suck. Like that's what my swing looks like. Like that's not at all what I envisioned my swing to look like.
Flew Hardy with a huge strikeout right there. Did you always have the big leg kick?
No, so whenever I first, like when I was in high school and when I first went to college, I used to hit, I would say like my hitting style was more like Willie Mays. Like if you remember what Willie Mays, like
Yeah, it was kind of like,
really hard on the front side and really kind of like diving at the ball.
yep, I
And
got it,
so,
right? I mean, this is
yeah,
it.
yeah, but I didn't have the separation that you're doing right now. Like I was kind of like here, and it was just kind of like all together, like going forward to where like I could, if you threw 95, I had that speed to where like I could time you up and clip it even in high school. But as soon as I went to college and I started seeing spin, I was an out.
Yeah.
And so then it was like I learned how to kind of get my hands back. Like I actually in college like arm barred, which is not necessarily a good thing, but I got into an arm bar, but it was like the first phase of me like starting to get my hands away from my body. And I actually toe tapped and didn't know that I was toe tapping.
Crazy, man.
And so like still pretty hard on the front side. And then I got to pro ball and was getting into like the toe tap. Like I was taught to like get the foot down early, right?
Yeah, the same thing.
And so like I was getting my foot down early, but my brain was like still telling me like, hey, you're not ready to hit. And so like I would go down and then I'm like, oh, I'm not in a good position, so I would go again.
You load again, sure.
I'd go again, and thankfully, like I had bat speed to where like I could kind of make, and I had some athleticism to where I could kind of make up for that, right?
Yeah,
But then once I got to the big leagues, it was like now it's really getting exposed in some areas, and then that's when I went and rehauled my mechanics and learned how to like stretch and keep in center of my body, learn how to balance and kind of keep all of that together to where my whole thing was like I had bat speed, but I feel like my bat speed came from me trying to have bat speed
sure.
versus like I wanted to create movements that allowed me to have effortless bat speed.
So I talk all the time about this with the kids now, Josh. I don't care when your foot gets down,
Yeah.
but when that pitcher's hand is right here, I need you guys in a launch
Yes.
position,
Yes.
right? So that
Yes.
hand comes here. This knob of the bat is going to be pointed at the catcher. Hand
Yep.
here, here. And if your foot's in the fucking air like this, kicking like this, I don't care. Because eventually that is going to come down
It's gonna swing it down.
and then we're ready to go. But you get in this hitting position because now when we're here and this hand's here, all of our focus could go to seeing the ball.
Knock. I agree. And that's like so for me, like there's a tempo to hitting and like this sequence. Like for me, like you could be fast early, like you think like Gary Sheffield, like even Bonds would kind of get into like this, like Mark Teixeira would get into this like swirly. You would get like here. Like myself, like I would like rock my elbows like that to where like you can be fast here, but as soon as the arm is swinging up, I got to gain control. And so, like what you're talking about, like I got to get that barrel up and in a ready position in my load to go here, right? And so now, once I get control, like so, you can either go slow, like my two strike approach would be slow to control to slow. Get in the gap, get in the gap. Let's go, Ernie Clement.
Oh,
Oh,
it went. Ernie Clement, the legend of Ernie, continues to grow. Gets a middle in fastball, drops dick on it, and hits it off the fucking wall, Josh. What a great piece of hitting.
great. And like I said, the barrel's dangerous. He barreled one up and it went into the gap. And let's not be let's not get this twisted. Ernie Clement's not the biggest guy in the world and just turned around 96, 97 off the wall by, a very small move. And, it doesn't have to be a huge move. I like to feel bigger moves because that allowed me to stay relaxed and that allowed me to feel the sequence. But to get back to my point, the one thing that you can't do as a hitter, in my opinion, is you can't be fast, fast, fast. It can't all be fast. It can be fast, slow, or it can be slow, slow, like Emmanuel Ramirez. Slow, slow. But I also don't want to be completely still either, because that's when we're talking about the tense muscles like taking over. So that was one thing I like to always play around is like feeling. And so a big part of like my pregame work and my on-field work, batting practice and stuff like that, is I always like to like work at like try to find my percentages. Like, all right, I always wanted to start off at like 40 to 50%. Where's my 40 to 50%? And when most people start doing this, like so if like a kid goes and does this tomorrow, if they think 40, 50%, they're going to stop moving. It's going to be like here, huh,
Mhm.
versus it being like 40%. I'm still making the same moves, but it's just going to be a more controlled, and I'm not allowing that bat to ever speed up. And I'm going to feel that 40, 50%. Once I get 50% down, now I go to 60%. What's 60% feel like? And I'm just trying to find the barrel. boom, and still make my moves. 60%, 60%. Now, once I get 60%, now I go to 70%. Right now, 70% normally is going to be where I'm at in the game. But just for like shits and gigs, I would take it up to like 80% because at 1%, once you get to like a certain percentage, the swing's going to start coming out a little bit more inconsistent.
Yep.
And then once it starts getting inconsistent, that's when I would back it down a percentage. All right, back it down to whatever that percentage was before. That's where I need to be like in the game.
But when I tell kids this, Josh, I don't think they get it. I don't think they quite understand that it's that 70% that is going to get you the 100%.
Well, and that's where so like exit velo is great of telling a story, right? But even with myself at the end of my career, like with all these gadgets they have in the machine and stuff like that, if I had a machine tell me how hard I was, like, I was hitting it, it was very hard for me to stay disciplined enough to not want to go higher.
Yeah, you're
So
right.
it's like to be a good hitter, you have to learn. Like if I could go back for my last 3 years, 3 or 4 years, when I was working, I would never allow myself to hit a ball over 100, 105.
That
I
makes
would
sense
want to
because yeah, you won't want to be swinging too hard.
exactly to where it's like now, like I start swinging harder, I start getting more out of control to where like I can hit a ball 115, 120, cool, but like is that gonna play in the game? Like
Yeah,
that's probably not playing in the game, especially with today's pitching.
yeah, and you're talking about BP coming at you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, this is what I tell people all the time. Oh, hey, it's great that you hit homers in BP. It's fun. Like, yeah, it makes us feel good about ourselves. But in BP, they're not trying to get you out.
no,
They're not changing speeds on you. Like,
no,
you gotta find like where's that sweet spot of like I have optimal control and I can still hit the ball firm on the barrel. Oh
yeah.
shit! Oh, go 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 go!
I love it, dude. Yeah, I mean, you're just a little bit behind here. Uh, you see the breaking ball in the dirt from Banna. I would say one of the things that I think big leaguers today do a very poor job at
Yeah,
is
seeing ball in the
reading
dirt.
balls in the dirt.
Yes,
It I mean, we used to live for those moments, dude. We used to spend an entire day in spring training just
read it
fucking
to.
reading balls in dirt.
Yep. Hey, you know who the best teammate I ever played with that did it? It is going to be a guy that you would never suspect. John Jaso, former teammate of mine, catcher, was the best I ever saw at reading balls in the dirt. This guy, now they wouldn't count as stolen bases, right?
No.
But he would get 10 to 15 bags a year as being a catcher, a non-runner, because he knew how to